Okay, so welcome and find that comfortable seat to start your practice. A pile of pillows can help ease any joint pain that you may have from being seated, or you could be in a chair. Whatever feels right for you today as we begin our practice. It doesn't have to be easy pose or sukhasana as I'm sitting in here. Actually, I'm sitting in half lotus. So thank you for being here today and for taking the time to do this for yourself. I'm proud of you. I know how hard it is, but the self-care is especially important when you're dealing with chronic illness, but also when you're dealing with quarantine life, right? It makes it even more stressful. So find that comfortable position and start to connect with your breath. It is the core of your yogic practice, pranayama, right? Inhaling and filling the whole belly up like a balloon, and then exhaling, bringing the belly button in towards the spine, emptying that whole area out. And as you begin your pranayama practice, close the eyes, ground your sit bones, lengthen your spine, lifting through the crown of the head. Put your shoulder blades in the pocket, as I call it. So bring the shoulders back and down, away from the ears. Find a comfortable place for your hands, wherever that may be. And just focus on the breath. Follow it in and out as it moves through the body. In through the nose and out through the nose. Okay. So for a couple of breaths, just focus on this flow of the breath. And as I've said many times, even if you just sit on your mat or in your chair and do this breathing, you are getting great benefit from that practice, even if you don't do any of the postures. Today we're going to work on hamstrings a little bit. People who sit a lot end up with weak and inflexible hamstrings, and this causes all kinds of problems, including the stiffness of the hamstrings causes muscle groups around it to also stiffen. And this, it can also cause you to have an improper tilt of the pelvis. So it affects your overall alignment and posture. It can lead to foot pain, leg pain, back pain, all kinds of issues with just the simple hamstrings lacking strength and being very stiff. So we're going to work on getting those a little bit more flexible today and a little bit stronger with gentle postures. Let's take a few more breaths with the eyes closed. And then we're going to take a gentle neck stretch. So open the eyes, take the right hand up to the top of the head, reach the left hand out to your side and gently pull that right ear down toward the shoulder, stretching out all along the left side of the neck and down the arm, actively reaching through those fingertips. You can shift the chin slightly forward or slightly back and change which of those muscle groups you're working. Let's take 2 more breaths. And then switch sides. Using the left hand and reaching out with the right. Gently stretching that opposite side. We stretch these muscle groups in the neck first to help with respiration. The sternocleidomastoids and the scalene muscles in the neck. It's helpful if you stretch them a little bit each day. Maybe when you get up in the morning. And when you're ready, release. Let the neck float up. And take a couple of shoulder rolls. Really reaching the shoulders up toward the ears, back and all the way down. Reaching in each direction. Staying with the breath. And once you've done 2 in one direction, switch it up. Go the opposite way. Good. And let's take a seated cat-cow. You can have your hands on your knees wherever you are, or your hands up by the shoulders, whatever feels better for you. And we'll start with an exhale, reaching forward and arching the back. And then inhaling, looking up to the ceiling, arching forward, opening the chest. Undulating the spine with the flow of your breath. Wherever you are, do 1 more round. And then come back to center. Let's take a gentle seated twist, twisting first to the right. So that would mean take the left hand to the knee, take the right hand behind you to support your spine, lifting up through the crown of the head and twisting, looking over that right shoulder, not forcing it. It's a gentle twist. One more breath. And come back to center. Good. And let's switch to the opposite side. Taking that right hand to the left knee, taking the left hand behind you, palm flat on the floor. Lift before you turn. Continuously lifting through the crown of the head as you twist and look over that left shoulder. Put some weight into that left palm. One more breath on this side. And then return to center. Good. If it's available to you, bring the soles of your feet together in Baddha Konasana, which is bound angle pose. And your feet can be way far away from you, very close into the body. Or if you are unable to do this pose, you can sit cross-legged, or you could just bring the feet out in front of you, especially if you're in chair, because we're going to add a forward fold. So you can grab around your toes or your ankles, depending on what feels good for you today. And you want to let if you're in Baddha Konasana, you want to let the knees just open up toward the mat. Gravity is doing the work here. But press the sit bones down into the mat wherever you are, lifting through the top of the head, and shoulders should be back and down in the pocket, right? And just lengthen. This pose is super beneficial on multiple levels. So you can just stay here in Baddha Konasana or add a forward fold if you wish. You're going to fold, make sure you get your elbows out of the way, right? But inhale first and hinging at the hips, keeping that beautiful length in the spine. Just come forward till you feel the resistance in your hip flexors. Keep pressing the sit bones, lengthening the spine, and just pause when you feel that resistance and breathe into those tight spaces. Just imagine bringing your breath, your attention to those places that are tight and opening them up, just softening them on each exhale. We're going to take 2 more breaths here. Continue to lengthen. And when you're ready to come out on an inhale. Lifting back up. And then bringing the knees together and straightening the legs out into Dandasana or staff pose. Now for Dandasana, you may need to physically pull the flesh out of the way so that you can really get your sit bones attached, grounded to the mat. You don't want to lock your knees in this pose, but the legs are active. So try to find that balance between flexing the feet, spreading the toes, and not locking the knees. Spine is long and tall, sit bones grounded. Right? So for a moment, just notice, flex one foot, spread the toes out. Notice that your hamstring on the right is activated, right? Hold it for a couple of breaths. Just 3. And then release it, right? Notice both of them. Notice the difference in these 2 hamstrings. Then take the left one. Flex the foot, spread the toes as wide as you can, and notice how that left hamstring is completely activated. Let's hold here for 3 breaths. We're strengthening the hamstrings, just isolating them. And then release, right? Working them a bit. Okay. So, again, just lift through the top of the head, bring the shoulders back and down, and you can hold here in Dandasana or add a forward fold again. And if you want to add a fold, reach up overhead. Bring the hands down, either onto the legs, on the side of the legs, whatever feels good for you. And again, we're hinging here. We don't want to round the back or collapse or try to bring our nose down towards our thighs. We're keeping this length and we're hinging, okay? So just hinging at the hips. Make sure your knees aren't locked. And you may not even come down but an inch. It's okay. Just wherever you find that resistance, you'll feel it in the hamstrings. And just take a couple of deep, slow breaths here. On your next inhale, coming back up. Very nice. Okay, now we are going to bring one foot in, the right foot, place it somewhere along that left leg. Again, active left leg. You want to turn the body slightly, just very subtly, so that your belly button is facing that left knee. We're going to again fold. You can either hold here in this position or add a fold, lifting the arms up overhead, lifting through the crown of the head, and then finding a place for the hands. This will feel good in the back. Make sure that leg on the mat is active. Flex it slightly without locking the knee. This stretches the hamstring as well, but just in a slightly different way. You'll feel it more on the outside, the hip and the hamstring. Let's take one more breath on this side. Good. And release, coming back up. We'll switch feet. Shake them out if you need to. Bring the left foot in. Place it somewhere along the leg. Adjust your sit bones if you need to. And flex that right foot slightly. Turn towards that right knee. Lift the arms up and the crown of the head. And just again, find that beautiful stretch. Keeping that length in the spine. Noticing where you feel the resistance and breathing into it. One more breath on this side. And come back up. Good. Straighten both legs out, shake them out if you need to. We're going to come over onto hands and knees for cat-cow. Again, you can do seated cat-cow, but if you are able, make your way over onto the mat for more traditional cat-cow. Aligning the wrists beneath the shoulders, the knees beneath the hips. And on an inhale, you look up, drop the belly, lift the tailbone. This should feel really good after the stretches we just did. On your exhale, arch up like the angry Halloween cat. It's that time of year again. Inhale, look up. Then exhale, arch. Pairing it with the breath. Our first flow pose of the practice. Fingers should be spread wide if they're on the mat. Really pressing down into the mat with both palms. And then come back to center in table. And we are going to walk our hands out to the end of the mat and come into puppy pose. Which means bringing the chest down towards the mat, keeping the hips aligned above the knees. And you may not come down very far, as with any pose, and that's okay. If you do come all the way down to the mat, if your arms are super flexible, you can rest your forehead or your chin down on the mat here. Traditional puppy pose, you rest the chin, and it's like a puppy that's sort of playing, where they put their paws out and bring their head down between those front paws. Take another breath here. And then we're going to walk our hands back in and sit back on the heels. Coming into child's pose. We're going to add a side stretch here. So walk the hands out to the left, or you could just stay in child's pose, whatever feels good to you. Walk the hands out to the left if you'd like to add a side stretch here. Just walk them as far to the left as they go and feel that stretch all along the right side body. Try to relax the neck. No strain on the neck here. Good. And then walk the hands back and all the way over to the other side, stretching that left side body. One more breath on this side. And then walk the hands back to center. Let's take a breath here. You're going to move into downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. If that's available to you today, you may just want to come into table. Do what feels right for your body, always listening to the wisdom of your own body. If you feel up for down dog, put some weight into your palms, shifting forward, tucking the toes and lifting the hips up toward the ceiling. And gently walk your dog, bending one knee and then the other, stretching out the calves. You may be quite tight. Make sure your fingers are spread wide and you're putting some weight in your fingertips, not just putting all the weight in your wrists. It's going to be especially hard if you have any kind of rheumatic illness where the wrists hurt. Rest whenever you need to. Child's pose or any other restful position of your choice is always an option. Then let's all come into child's pose. This time bringing the hands around behind you, resting the forehead down on the mat. Always staying with the breath. Deep, slow belly breaths that calm our nervous systems down. All that hyperactivity. Wonderful. And bringing the hands forward, walking them up. We're going to push up into down dog one more time and come up to standing. You may just want to make your way to standing without going through down dog. You want to join, lift the hips, take a breath or two in down dog. Maybe shake your head out a little bit, releasing any tension in the neck. And then step or hop the feet between the hands and come into a forward fold, Uttanasana. We're going to roll up, gently bend the knees, stack the vertebrae as you come up to standing. Adjust my camera as you get into mountain pose or Tadasana, which I'm such a stickler about. So find that comfortable position with feet parallel. Activate the muscles in the legs, bringing that energy up. Gentle, minute tuck of the pelvis to lengthen the spine. Shoulders in the pocket, back and down. Lift through the crown of the head. Close your eyes and take a couple of breaths here in mountain pose. Just feeling that what proper alignment feels like. Training our bodies to move through the world properly aligned. Just take one more breath here. Good. Now we're going to do a couple of half sun salutations, which I've done with you before. I'll turn sideways so you can see me best in this. All right, so we're going to bring the hands into prayer and inhale, bring them up, looking to the hands. Exhale, swan dive forward, coming all the way down. Inhale, come halfway up, bring the palms just below the knees, very flat back, parallel to the mat. Exhale, fold. Inhale, all the way up. And then bring the hands back to center. Exhale. Let's do it again. Fold. Halfway up. And fold. All the way up. And back to center. And again, inhale. Fold. Halfway up, lengthen the spine. And fold. All the way up. And back to center. Beautiful. Very nice. Shake it out if you need to. We are going to move a little bit toward the back of our mat now and do pyramid pose. With pyramid pose, you just take a regular step forward, not the huge one as you would for warrior two. Adjust that back foot just so you feel grounded and stable in this pose. Front leg is straight. Grab opposite elbows behind the back. If you are seated in a chair or unable to do this pose, you can grab opposite elbows or forearms behind the back and get a really great stretch here and add a forward fold. We are going to fold forward over this front leg. Find that beautiful length in your spine before you fold. Inhale, lift, and exhale, fold forward. Over that leg, finding that stretch in the hamstring. Hinging at the hips, lengthening the spine. Just coming to where you feel that resistance and breathing into it as we do. Both feet pressing equally down into the mat. Maximum distance between the tailbone and the top of the head. One more breath here if that's available to you. And on an inhale, lifting back up and out. Release the arms, shake them out if you need to. Stepping the feet together and moving towards the back of the mat to switch to the other side. Taking a step forward with that left foot and adjusting that back foot for stability. Straighten that front leg, grab the opposite elbows, lift through the top of the head, and fold on an exhale, coming forward. Notice which side is tighter, right, in the hamstring. Keep that beautiful length in the spine. Try not to lock the knee. Press both of those feet down into the mat. One more breath on this side. Releasing on an inhale. Coming back up to standing. Releasing the arms. Bringing the feet to meet one another and shaking it out if you need to. Let's actually take a couple of hip circles here, just because it'll feel good. Find that mountain pose and bring the hands to the waist. And I want you to bring the hips way out to the right, forward, way over the left, and way back. So it's just a big circle. You have to bend the knees to do it. And switch once you've done two in one direction. Because the work on the hamstrings we're doing, of course, affects the hips. All right, now we are going to do Warrior 3 as our balance today. So again, coming toward the back of the mat, you're going to want to take a big step forward with that front foot, that right foot. Bring the arms up overhead and shift the weight into that front foot. So that may be as far as you go is here. Arms lifted, left leg behind you. But if you're able, the body becomes sort of a seesaw, bringing the arms down and the foot up. In equal measure. You fall out, just get back in. Actively reaching through the fingertips and the toes. Whew. That standing foot gets some intense weight on it here. You may want to shake that one out. When you're ready to switch, again, come to the back of the mat and step the left foot forward. Bring the arms up overhead. And again, this may be enough of a balance for you, just with your toe touching behind you. Or lift the foot and lower the arms and upper body. You're really good. You can lift the other foot. All right. You're ready to come out, shake it out as needed. And one last standing pose is going to be forward fold. So, coming into your mountain pose one last time. Take a breath. Inhale, reach up overhead. And exhale, swan dive forward. Coming into Uttanasana one last time. You can grab the big toes with peace fingers and get a deeper stretch. You can grab opposite elbows. Shift your weight gently back and forth for ragdoll. Whatever feels good to you. Wrap your arms around and grab behind your calves or ankles. You want to actively reach your hips toward the ceiling here. The legs are active. The upper body hangs like dead weight. Maybe shake your head yes and no a couple of times. Release neck tension. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Then we're going to make our way back down onto the mat. Coming down onto the knees if that's available to you. So you may need a pillow beneath your knees for this one. I often just roll my mat over a couple of times to get some extra cushion for my knees. I have an old knee injury on one side, and sometimes I need that extra cushion. So adjust the knees as needed, cushion them. And we're going to do what's called gate pose. So with gate pose, you bring the right foot out to the side as if it's opened out like a gate, right? Adjust the foot so it's flat on the floor, however that works for you. We're just going to take a gentle side stretch here in this pose. Find that length, lift that left arm up, gently rest the right hand on the leg, and stretch toward the leg. Hopefully you can't hear all that noise outside. There's a tractor in front of my house. They're raking the sand. Let's take one more breath. And inhale back up. And bring that foot back in, that leg back into alignment. And let's take the opposite one out. Good. Adjust as needed. Find that beautiful length in the spine, shoulders back and down, and lift the right arm up and stretch toward that left leg. One more deep breath. And inhale back out. Good. Now, we are going to come back down onto the mat. Yay! So coming down onto our backs, fully reclined, and bring the knees in, hugging them into you. I'm going to adjust the camera. Right. Oops. that you have a strap ready today. I'm hoping that you have one handy, but I will give some options if you do not have a strap handy. So, coming down onto the back, bringing those knees in, rocking if it feels good. Grab your strap if you've got that nearby, and bring the feet down onto the mat. Here's my strap. Take the right foot first and wrap the strap around the ball of the foot. Right. And straighten out that left leg. We're going to do a deeper hamstring stretch. So if you do not have a strap, you can try this without it. You can also bend this knee and bring it into the body like so, and hug. Activate that leg that's on the mat, hugging the knee in as an option. You've got your strap. This is ideal. You want to just try to keep the left leg flexed and active, pressing down into the mat, and bring that right foot up towards the top of the mat and up towards your head, stretching all in the back of this hamstring muscle here. If you're hugging the knee into the body, you want to avoid the rib cage. Now, if you're using your strap, I want you to take your right arm out to your side, that half T shape, and bring the right foot across the body, looking to that right hand. Coming into a reclined twist. Always listening to what the body needs or is capable of today. And of course, if you're not using a strap and you have pulled your knee in, you can also do the same pose without just go into a twist without the strap. Let's take one more breath here. When you're ready to release, you may need to bend that knee to release it. Just listen to the body and bring it back to center. Hug that knee in for a minute. Then straighten the leg out. Adjust the hips and shoulders so your spine is in alignment. And then switch to the other side. Strap or no strap. Right leg is active. Deep stretch for that left hamstring. Let's move into a reclined twist, whichever position you're in. Bring that right, that left leg across the body and look out to that right hand. I actually need to switch sides for this. Ooh. When you're ready, come back to center. Release the left foot if it's in the strap. Hug hug the knees in once again. Rocking if it feels good. And then take a hand or palm to each knee and make a couple of big circles with the knees. Massaging that way low back, the sacral area. Sure you go a couple of times in each direction, and then rotate your ankles a couple of times. Show your ankles some love. Point and flex the toes. And then we're ready to make our way to the most comfortable position we can find on our mats for Shavasana. Best time of all in yoga, and the most restorative and healing position of all as well. So find that comfortable space on your mat. Pat yourself on the back for all the hard work you did in your practice this morning. And prepare to relax deeply and completely. You can let everything go. No need to pay attention to the breath any longer. Just let it rise and fall naturally. Find that slow rhythm. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Allowing my voice to ground you in the present moment. Relaxing your feet, your ankles and your calves, and those hamstrings we just worked in this practice. Relax the hips and the torso. Imagine all your organs functioning in perfect harmony, exactly as they were designed to do. Allow the shoulders to just melt down into the floor, face to water, along with the upper arms, the forearms, the hands, and each fingertip. Let the neck and head sink further down into the floor, heavy. Let your tongue rest on the floor of your mouth. Relax the jaw. Imagine your eyes sinking a little more deeply down into the sockets. And soften that area between the eyebrows where we furrow our brows. Relax all the muscles in the face. Even relax the scalp and the ears. Thoughts will come up, but just notice them and let them go. And allow yourself for the next few minutes to go into a state of deep and truly healing relaxation. When you're ready to come back from this deeply relaxed state, I want you to really take your time, wiggling fingers and toes, maybe rolling over to one side, or maybe you choose to stay in Shavasana today, not returning to a seated position, knowing that that's what your body needs. With chronic illness, our days can be much more challenging than other people's. I ask that you please listen to your bodies each day. Take time for self-care, self-nourishing, and know that you can only do so much and that that is okay. I'm grateful and honored to be sharing these practices with you. I hope you can take some of this feeling of deep relaxation that is so healing out into your day and into the days ahead. We close saying, the divine light within me recognizes and honors the divine light within each of you. Namaste.